Hello guys and welcome to another MK Mobile character review, today featuring Circle Shadow Liu Kang. As usual guys, please note the date when this video has been recorded because a lot of things may have changed since then, and if you're not familiar with the matrix I'm using in order to evaluate characters, you can find it on the top right corner of the screen. So without any further ado, let us put Circle Shadow Liu Kang to the test. Circle of Shadows Liu Kang, or as we previously known him, Dark Emperor Liu Kang, was released on the 11th of May 2016 and his original price in the old Faction War store was 1,600 rupees. And by the way, this explains why so many people have him, because he was available in the Faction Wars store in the past. Anyways, let us check his stats. His attack is 62,597, which is the 8th highest in Mortal Kombat Mobile. The hit points are 118,349, which is the 11th highest in the game, and the toughness is 52,164, the 7th highest in the game. And finally, when it comes to the recovery, it is 48,384, which is the 13th highest in MK Mobile. The power generation unfortunately is just 100%. So for his stats, Circle of Shadows Liu Kang gets 20.7 out of 28 possible points. Special one of Circle of Shadow Liu Kang guys is called Dragon Fury, and this is the ability that you'll be using most of the time when playing this character. What you need to know about it is that first, it can be blocked by the opponent, however with the appropriate gear this will almost certainly never happen. It has Snare as debuff, which is amazing. It can be cast from distance, however at mid and long range the first 2 or 3 mini hits will miss, but this is not a big deal because they don't deal that much damage. The ability is lethal, it consists of 9 mini attacks, but we're not going to deduct any points here. I'm going to explain why later in the video. And the special attack has the multi-tap circle as minigame. Basically the only drawback of this ability is the taunting gesture that Liu Kang does after he completes it. If the opponent blocks the special attack, you can be in a big trouble because of that. Or at least every time when I play against Circle Shadow Liu Kang, I'm always trying to exploit that. When it comes to damage, the minimum damage of the special attack is 20,657, which is the 12th highest in MK Mobile. The maximum damage is 41,314, the 11th highest in the game. Once again, let's repeat the properties of the ability. The special attack can be blocked by the opponent, it has Snare as debuff, it can be cast from distance, it is lethal, it consists of 9 mini attacks, and it has the multi-tap circle as minigame. So for his special one, Circle of Shadow Liu Kang gets the amazing 11.2 out of 13 possible points. Now, when I said that you are going to be using Special 1 more often, it is not because Special 2 sucks, quite the contrary. However, Special 1 will be more than enough to destroy your enemies. Anyways, let's take a closer look at Circle of Shadows Liu Kang Special 2. Like his Special 1, this ability can be completely blocked by the opponent. It has Fire as debuff, it can be cast from distance, however in this case around half of the damage will be lost. You have to keep that in mind if you decide to cast his special 2 from mid or long range. In addition, the special attack is lethal, it consists of 5 mini attacks, but again I'm not going to deduct any points, and it has 2 minigames, the multi-tap circle and the single tap rectangle. When it comes to damage, the minimum damage of the special attack is 51,642, which is the 9th highest overall, and the maximum damage is 103,285, the 7th highest in the game. Once again, the special attack can be blocked by the opponent, it has Fire as debuff, it can be cast from distance, however half of the damage will be lost, it is lethal, it consists of 5 mini attacks, and it has 2 mini games. So for his special 2, Circle of Shadow Liu Kang gets 13.1 out of 19 possible points. I spent a lot of time trying to figure out whether you can actually cast Dark Emperor Liu Kang X-Ray from distance. And in the end I decided that you cannot. Now, it is true that you shouldn't be exactly next to the opponent in order for the X-ray to connect. It will definitely connect at short range. However, at the same time, it is also true that Dark Emperor Liu Kang has probably the best ability in the game to send opponents at the other side of the map. He can do that with Special 1, with Special 2, with combo enders, with basically everything. In fact, he's my favorite opponent when I'm trying to test whether some character special attack is long ranged. All I have to do is wait for him to unleash his Special 1, then I'll eventually block it, I'll find myself at the other side of the map, and while he's taunting me, I'm going to test my special attacks. It all works lovely. So I believe it won't be fair to give him any points for his X-ray being long ranged. When it comes to damage, the damage of the ability is 126,007. It is the 9th highest in MK Mobile. Once again, the special attack has fire as debuff and it cannot be cast from distance. So for his X-ray, Circle of Shadow Liu Kang gets 1.6 out of 4 possible points, and the total amount of points he gets for his special attacks adds up to 25.9 out of 36 possible. A lot of people are claiming that Circle of Shadow Liu Kang has the best basic attacks in MK Mobile. When it comes to my opinion, in my eyes he's one of the best, but not the best. Reason being, his chaining is pretty good, but not perfect. You see, he doesn't push opponents back when they're blocking. Instead of that, he pushes himself away from them, which is perfectly fine. However, he doesn't do it all the time. Sometimes he won't push himself back and he won't push the opponent back, which will leave him vulnerable for counterattack. Now, granted, the speed of his basic attacks perfectly compensate for this tiny flaw in his chaining, but after all, it is a flaw. So he is not perfect, unlike some other characters which we already reviewed. So, don't get me wrong, Circle of Shadow Liu Kang has one of the best basic attacks in the game, no doubts about it. So he's going to get a solid 9.5 out of 10 possible points. The infamous passive of Circle of Shadow Liu Kang, guys, is called Overwhelming Darkness, and here it is what it does, I quote: "When Liu Kang starts a match, he has 100% critical hit chance and his opponent is stunned for 5 seconds. In Faction Wars, 35% chance for Lethal Blow, which is plus 300% damage. Lethal Blows heal all Circle of Shadows teammates for 15% of the damage dealt. Circle of Shadows characters do 10% more damage versus Strike Force characters." So let's start with the negatives first, and the first one that comes to mind is that this passive doesn't have any supportive value outside of a Circle of Shadows team. So in a way, Dark Emperor Liu Kang or Circle of Shadows Liu Kang cannot be used as a support character in any other team but Circle of Shadow team. But it's not a big deal after all. His main purpose is not to be a support character, but rather, I would say, to destroy the enemy team. So it is not a big deal, but it's still something that has to be mentioned. And the second issue I have with this passive, if I can tell it's an issue, is that the Lethal Blow chance actually works only in Faction Wars, which is unfortunate. I could have used this character in the Link Wei tower, for example. Unfortunately, this part of his passive won't work there, which means that he will still be viable, but not as good outside of a Faction Wars battle. Apart from that, I would say that this passive is flawless. Once again, he has 35% chance for Lethal Blow in Faction Wars, and combined with the fact that he has a lot of mini attacks on his Special 1 and his Special 2, he is a monster of a character. And this brings me to my main point. You know, in general case, I would prefer to deliver the entire damage of the special attack in one single hit. However, in this specific case, I wouldn't want to do that. I would want to have as many mini hits as possible on my special attacks. The reason being, the 35% Lethal Blow chance will apply to each and every one of it. So in a way, I would definitely have at least 3 or 4 or even 5 of them being lethal. So in a way, it is safer to have multiple mini hits than having only one, because the only one have bigger chance not to be a lethal blow. I believe you got my idea. And that's the reason why I didn't deduct any points from Liu Kang for having multiple mini hits on his special attack. That was the reason why I did the same thing to Kobujitsu Tanya. Those characters have very high lethal blow chance which means that they should have multiple mini-hit special attacks. Okay guys, we are done with almost the entire passive of Dark Emperor Liu Kang. Now it is time to reveal the last part of it, the stunning part of it. You know, I really hate this character, not because he's a bad character or because a lot of people have him. The fact that annoys me a lot is that he's a perfect opener, and because he's a perfect opener, he doesn't have any competition. Nobody can match him there, and people keep on using him on spot number 1. And currently we're in a situation where every time when I'm trying to build a team and I decide, okay, this guy is going to be my starter, I start thinking of a way to block the initial stun coming from Dark Emperor Liu Kang, because I know he's going to be in every single goddamn game. Every single one of them. It's really annoying. Blaze's Life Force gone. Actually, it is almost useless against Circle of Shadow Liu Kang. It is okay because you're going to power drain him, but still he's going to get the power back in 5 or 6 punches and he's going to snare you and it's game over. So I don't use Blaze's Life Force, I always use equipment that gives me stun resistance. So because of the stun resistance, he cannot stun me, so I can tag my starter out, especially if he is a squishy one, and then tag in my main damage dealer and eventually deal with Dark Emperor Liu Kang. So long story short, he's so good at being starter in MK Mobile that people are too lazy to find another one. If you have Dark Emperor Liu Kang, then you're all set. Nothing you should do. He just stuns people and he just kills people. This is how easy it is to play with Dark Emperor Liu Kang. So I have no other choice but to give 20 out of 20 points for his passive. Once again, I regard him as the best opener in the game. In addition, he is a dual class character, even better for him, so he gets 2 points for classes and 0 points for tagging attack. Like never before guys, we will start the final verdict by highlighting the negative part of the character instead of the positive part of it, because let's face it, I'm sure most of you really love Dark Emperor Liu Kang and consider him one of the best characters in the game, which is partially true. So my job here is to make sure that you understand why I believe that he is not the best character in the game, even though I will completely agree that he is in, let's say, top 10 or top 15 or whatever. He is a really good character, but he has the following flaws. First of all, his stats are really not impressive for a diamond character, especially considering that he has just 100% power generation. On top of that, both of his special attacks can be blocked, a very important part of his passive will never work outside of a faction wars battle, another very important part of his passive will only work in a Circle of Shadows team, and casting his X-ray from distance can be tricky. So, long story short, if I have to answer the question, is Circle of Shadow Liu Kang the best opener in the game? I would say hell yes. But at the same time, if you ask me whether he's the best character in the game, I'd rather say no. As you already saw, he has some issues and he's not a perfect character. But at the same time, none of these issues is a serious one. None of them will render him useless or something. So I believe he fully deserves 3 out of 3 subjective points. After all, even though I hate him, I really recognize him as a force to be reckoned with, as one of the best characters in the game and the best starter in Mortal Kombat. So with my 3 subjective points, he's going to score 81.1 out of 102, and we can label him as an amazing character. And by the way, with those 81.1, he's going to rank 7 on our standings, just above Bounty Hunter Aaron Black and just below Classic Reptile. Once again, Circle of Shadow Liu Kang final verdict is amazing. Okay guys, we got to the gameplay. I believe so far you got the idea that Dark Emperor Liu Kang or Circle of Shadow Liu Kang should be your opener 100% because, as we already mentioned, he is the best opener in the game. There is nobody to match him. All you have to do is put him on position 1 in your team. When it comes to the character that he counters, you know, he can be good against everybody. He's basically good against every possible starter in the game, except for another Circle Shadow Liu Kang, and I believe it is self-explanatory, so I'm not going to mention that he is also good against Strike Force enemies. Anyways, let's proceed. Let's focus on the characters that counter him. And I would say those are the characters that can evade special attacks and combo enders such as MK11 Jade, Assassin Jade, Assassin Kitana, Relatus Jason, and so on and so on. Also, Circle Shadow Liu Kang will have issues against stun deniers such as, for example, Combat Cup Sonya and MK11 Cabal. And on top of that, I believe, I already tested it guys, this is the item that completely shuts him down in the first seconds of the game, and this item is the Ice Bomb. It is an uncommon item obtainable through Link Way Tower, and it is a really a bane for Circle Shadow Liu Kang, because basically you have to forget about your stun in the beginning of the game, you have to forget the critical chance. Long story short, the initial advantage that you have in the beginning of the game will be gone because you'll be frozen. Okay guys, we got to the items. Now, in my opinion, the best item set for Circle Shadow Liu Kang is Devastator as weapon, Shao Kahn helmet or Earth Elemental face mask as your armor. Quite honestly, I believe both options are okay, but I tend to prefer Earth Elemental face mask because it gives you some debuff resistance, and on top of that, additional power generation, which is very important. It will allow you to cast as many special ones as possible. And the last item guys on Liu Kang should be always Moloch Ball and Chain, because first it gives you block breaking chance, it can be applied on your Special 1 and Special 2 amazingly. Special 1 has 9 mini hits, Special 2 has 5 mini hits, so the chance that you're going to eventually break the block of the enemy is huge. In addition, it gives you 15% chance to cast your Special 2 for free, and on top of that it also gives you additional 10% lethal blow chance. It is just the perfect item for Circle Shadows Liu Kang. And there we go guys, we got to the teams. Now, I will be Captain Obvious and I will let you know that Circle Shadow Liu Kang works pretty good with other two Circle Shadow members. For example, that may be Revenant Sub-Zero and Revenant Kung Lao. In my opinion, I'm sorry, Circle Shadow Sub-Zero and Circle Shadow Kung Lao. In my opinion, this is the best Circle Shadow team. It really works beautifully. However, if you don't have one of those, you can replace Revenant Kung Lao with Tournament Quan Chi, but I'll definitely say that Circle Shadow Liu Kang works amazing with Circle Shadow Sub-Zero. If you can pair those two guys, you should always use them together. Of course, if you want to have some fun with Circle Shadow Liu Kang outside of a Circle Shadow team, then I would say the best combination for him includes Hellspawn Scorpion and Spec Ops Scorpion. This is an amazing team, guys. Basically, this team cannot lose. It's impossible. This team is unfallible. Perfect team, guys. And of course, if you want to try some other teams with Circle Shadow Liu Kang, you can try some kind of a troll team. Instead of Hellspawn Scorpion, you can use Leatherface. And if Leatherface passive actually is triggered in the beginning of the game, it is really funny, guys. And of course, if you want to team Circle Shadow Liu Kang with gold characters and you still want to have some fun, you can use Hattrick Kung Lao and Cyrox Tribox so that you can boost his critical damage. Okay guys, Circle Shadow Liu Kang, what do you think of him? Do you like him? Do you dislike him? Please let me know in the comments. Once again, he scored 81.1 and we labeled him as an amazing character. As usual guys, if you want to see more reviews, you can find the playlist on the top right corner of the screen. And if you want to know which is the next on-demand review, you can find the list in the description of this video. See you next time guys. Take care.
You overestimate your skill.
Perfect.